He had the fame, he had the fortune. But when Michael Jackson died, he didn't have protection. In his final years, the people closest to him weren't family. They were managers, doctors, and so-called friends, people who controlled his money, his schedule, and even his sleep. They said they were helping. But Michael was losing weight, losing control, and losing trust in everyone around him. He felt trapped, isolated, used. Behind the scenes, power moves were being made, contracts were signed, pills were handed out. And while the cameras showed a comeback, behind closed doors, he was falling apart. So, the question is, was Michael Jackson destroyed by the media or by the people he trusted the most? Let's dig into the twisted truth behind MJ's inner circle and how it may have helped end the greatest icon the world has ever known. Frank DiLeo, the comeback puppet master. Frank DiLeo wasn't just some random guy in Michael's orbit. He was the guy who helped steer MJ through the monster success of the bad era in the late 80s. A cigar-smoking music executive with mobster energy and slick charm, DiLeo was known for getting things done. But fast forward to 2009, and suddenly, he was back. Right when Michael was vulnerable, overworked, and desperate for a comeback. Why? Some say Michael trusted him. Others say he had no choice. DiLeo re-entered MJ's life just months before This Is It. He was placed as a key handler during the tour prep, even though Michael reportedly didn't want him around anymore. Faye, MJ's longtime makeup artist, later said Michael was terrified of the people managing him, and DiLeo was one of them.
It's a great job. It's really a terrific job, Terry. Michael is a wonderful human being to be working with.
According to her, MJ didn't feel in control of anything anymore, not even his own schedule. There were even rumors that Michael tried to fire DiLeo just weeks before his death, but was blocked or ignored by those in charge. Think about that. The man was worth billions to the industry if that tour went ahead. And DiLeo? He was helping manage it, coordinating logistics, talking to promoters, making decisions. But was he really looking out for Michael? Or was he just another businessman squeezing out what was left of a global icon? Michael once said, "People betray me and stab me in the back every time." Frank DiLeo may have helped him rise, but in the end, his comeback became a countdown. Tohme and Branca, the legal power players. If there was ever a sign that Michael Jackson wasn't in control of his own life near the end, it was the power these two men had. Let's start with Tohme. A mysterious businessman with no real music background, he suddenly became Michael's manager in 2008. No one knew where he came from. One day he was a stranger, and the next he was speaking on MJ's behalf, cutting off access to longtime friends and inserting himself into every deal, including the This Is It contract. Tohme talked a good game, but many believe he was more like a gatekeeper. He reportedly kept people away from Michael, blocking calls, isolating him, and only letting certain voices reach him. Why? To control him, influence him, and make money.
I'm still in charge of Michael's Jackson's business till otherwise I am informed not to do so.
Now enter Branca. Once fired by Michael in 2003 over concerns he wasn't being honest, Branca suddenly returned just weeks before MJ died. He was reinstated as one of the executors of Michael's estate, just in time to control billions of dollars in posthumous earnings. You heard that right. Fired by MJ himself, then brought back during MJ's most vulnerable state. The timing? Too perfect. Since MJ's death, Branca's handled everything from posthumous releases to major business decisions. Some fans call him a savior. Others call him a snake who profited from Michael's death more than anyone alive. Was Michael manipulated into signing off on these power plays? Did he even know what he was agreeing to in those final weeks? Or had the vultures already moved in while he was still breathing? Dr. Arnold Klein, the celebrity enabler. Dr. Arnold Klein wasn't just Michael's dermatologist. He was a powerful figure in MJ's world for over 20 years. And for much of that time, Klein was seen as a friend. But behind the Botox and skin treatments was something far more dangerous. Klein didn't just treat Michael's vitiligo. He reportedly prescribed him powerful medications over and over again. Sedatives, painkillers, tranquilizers, drugs that numbed not just the pain but reality. According to reports, Klein gave Michael Demerol injections so often that it raised alarms among people close to him. One report claimed MJ received 50 Demerol shots in a single month, many of them coming from Klein's office. And the worst part? He didn't stop when it was obvious things were spiraling. MJ was losing weight, slurring words, falling asleep mid-sentence, but Klein kept that supply going. Why? Was it friendship? Or was it control disguised as care? After Michael died, Klein tried to distance himself from the controversy. but the LA coroner's office included him in their investigation, and while he wasn't criminally charged, his reputation took a hit. MJ fans accused him of feeding the addiction, and some even speculated that Klein played a bigger role than people want to admit. He once said he loved Michael like a brother, but real love doesn't come with needles and silence.
Klein was one of Michael's closest friends.
So I have to tell you that I really cared about him a great deal.
Was Klein just another yes man in a white coat? Or was he part of the system that sedated the king of pop until he couldn't wake up? Rabbi Shmuley and Uri Geller. When you're as famous and isolated as Michael Jackson, sometimes the people who claim to heal your soul can end up doing the most damage. Rabbi Shmuley Boteach entered MJ's life in the early 2000s, presenting himself as a spiritual advisor, a father figure, and someone who genuinely cared about Michael's heart, not his fame. Together, they launched the Heal the Kids initiative. They recorded deep conversations about parenting, childhood trauma, and emotional healing. For a moment, it looked like Michael had found someone real, but then it all fell apart. Behind the scenes, Shmuley allegedly started recording their private talks, without Michael's knowledge. Years later, those tapes were published in a book, painting MJ as damaged, paranoid, and broken. Fans saw it as a betrayal, a publicity move, a man using Michael's vulnerability for clout and profit.
How is it that a man so famous and a man so accomplished couldn't even fall asleep at night?
And then there was Uri Geller, the celebrity psychic who claimed to be MJ's friend and protector. But even he turned cold. Reports say Uri once hypnotized Michael to get him off drugs, then later helped set up an interview that led to the Living with Michael Jackson documentary, a hit piece that triggered new investigations, stress, and public collapse. Both men said they were trying to help, but help doesn't come with hidden recorders or shady press deals. Michael once said, "I've trusted the wrong people." When even your spiritual guides start cashing in on your pain, who's left to turn to? Conrad Murray, the final blow. Conrad Murray was the last man standing in Michael Jackson's life. The doctor who was supposed to save him ended up being the one who signed his death certificate. On paper, he was a cardiologist. In reality, he was a $150,000 a month private medic hired to babysit a megastar, prescribing powerful drugs just to help Michael sleep. Not heal, not recover, just sleep. What he gave Michael wasn't a sleeping pill. It was propofol, a surgical-grade anesthetic used in operating rooms. And Murray was giving it to him nightly, inside a bedroom, without proper equipment, without backup, and without a clue what he was doing. It was reckless, it was illegal, and it was fatal. The night Michael died, Murray left the room. He came back to find MJ unresponsive. He didn't call 911 right away. He started fumbling with CPR on a soft bed. He tried to cover up what really happened, but the autopsy told the truth. Michael Jackson died from acute propofol intoxication, and Murray was the one who gave it to him.
The king of pop, Michael Jackson.
He was just 50 years old, and in the city where he died, Los Angeles.
He was convicted of involuntary manslaughter in 2011 and served just 2 years. 2 years for ending the life of the most iconic entertainer on the planet. And even after all that, Murray still went on TV blaming others, saying Michael was already addicted, that he was just trying to help. But here's the truth. Michael Jackson didn't need help sleeping. He needed help escaping the prison of people who said they cared, while slowly pushing him toward the edge. Faye, the loyal insider who tried to warn everyone. While everyone else in Michael's inner circle seemed to want something from him, money, control, fame, Faye was one of the few who wanted to protect him. Karen wasn't a business manager. She wasn't a doctor or a spiritual guru. She was Michael's personal makeup artist for over 27 years. She was there through the highs, the scandals, the tours, and the breakdowns. She saw what others didn't, and what she saw in the end broke her. During rehearsals for This Is It, Karen said Michael was a shell of himself. He was shaking, cold, extremely underweight. His eyes were glassy and his energy was gone. She described seeing him backstage, barely able to function, yet being pushed to perform like nothing was wrong. She begged people to listen. She told crew members, producers, something's not right. But instead of action, she got shut out. She was told to stay quiet, to do her job and stop making waves. After Michael died, Karen spoke out.
He's gone. We lost him. And my knees just collapsed.
She said the people around him were controlling every part of his life. His food, his medications, his access to the outside world. She even claimed he wasn't the one making key decisions anymore, that others were speaking for him, signing for him, handling him like a product, not a person. And the most chilling thing she said? He was being murdered, slowly, and no one cared. Karen didn't want fame. She didn't want money. She just wanted Michael to live. But by the time she realized how deep the darkness went, it was too late. Greedy friends or silent killers? Looking back, it's almost impossible to find a single person in Michael Jackson's inner circle who didn't want something from him. His manager wanted a tour, his doctor wanted a paycheck, his lawyers wanted control, his spiritual advisors wanted publicity, and some just wanted to stay close to the power, no matter the cost. Michael wasn't just surrounded, he was trapped. Trapped by contracts he didn't understand, trapped by meds he didn't ask for, trapped in a system where everyone claimed to love him, but no one was truly protecting him. He died weighing less than 120 pounds, with drugs in his system, under the care of people who were supposed to help. And yet, none of them stopped it. Some didn't care. Some looked the other way. And some, they kept cashing in long after he was gone. So, were they greedy friends, silent killers, or just reflections of the twisted world that comes with global fame? That's the question no one wants to answer. Because if Michael Jackson, the most powerful artist in the world, could be broken down from the inside out, what does that say about the people who said they loved him? You decide. But just remember this, Michael didn't die alone. He died surrounded. And some of those faces were smiling.